I love the new intro. I gotta get one of those. I love it. It is beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, welcome everybody to BizChicks TV. This is a place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. And as you know, we're here to help you run a profitable business. It's fun to run and take the hassle out of your hustle. We're here today with Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. She is in the house, and we are always excited when she comes because she's always dropping wonderful information and nuggets for us to pick up and run with. She has easy to understand and implementing ideas. So, guys, run, get your pencil and paper if you don't have it already. Those of you watching live and on the replay, because we are getting ready to rock this conversation today. And it's my understanding that it's all about your money. So, hey, everybody's interested in that, Coach. So what do you have for us today?
So today we're talking about the uncertainty of money. We're going to talk a little bit of nitty gritty. It's so warm in Canada that my cardigan goes to the side. If you guys see me throwing away something, that's my cardigan. I usually have it in the back of my chair because it gets cold. Guys, we're in October and it's warm. I walk in with just my tracksuit. I had on my coat early morning, but by the time I take my granddaughter to school, tracksuit only. It is warm.
Wow.
Leaves are falling and record. I don't care what the news says, but feeling wise, warm.
Who'd have thunk it?
Who would have? November, October, we are in our coats and mittens already, and sometimes flurries already, on the ground. So, anywho, without any further ado, we're talking about the uncertainty of money. And we're going to cover three things, right? Where's my fingers? Three things. Why does money feel so uncertain to us? We'll talk about that. And is it the lack of knowledge that causes this feeling? Or is it the feeling of an impossible immediate state that shows up? So we're going to dive into those three things because it's the combination. Good conversations to have, guys. Yes, as Terry says, get pen and paper, who's here, who's on the replay, and write this down, because when you start investigating, you just start realizing some things is not as hard as it feels, but you haven't looked into it and see where things are coming from. So without any further ado, the first question was, why does money feel so uncertain to us? Why is this thing? And it always has been for the people who don't have and the people who is trying to get to it, or the people who have it and afraid of losing it. Because sometimes we think about the people who don't have, but there's people who have and afraid to lose it. So they go through this same sort of uncertainty, even though it shows up differently for them. They're still in a different pocket, but this happens, right? And so you got to figure this out. And so why does it feel so uncertain? Like, what's coming up? Because always this other thing that's happening, right? Uncertainty, when you feel uncertain about your money, it's usually because you're worried about I don't have enough, right? And if anything happened to what is happening right now, I wouldn't know what to do. And that's why the last series, the half of the first series where I talk about planning, that's where that comes in beautifully. Because if you've been planning things, even though we know nothing stays on a straight line, it's still this go-to that we have. So if you know, I'm going to give for instance, and then I'm going to do a money part. But if you know you get up in the morning and your planning schedule says you read the Bible, you take some time to pray, you work out, you have a shower, you eat breakfast, you will notice over time it will just compound itself. And it's muscle memory. You don't even have to worry about it. See, we're kicking worry out the door by first the planning, and then we're consistently doing what we set out to do. Now let's look at this as money. We feel uncertain with money because not everybody, but so many of us will not know where more money is coming from other than the one that is present in our pocket, if we have any, at the bank, if we have it, if we do have any. And if we have none, when we do get, we are afraid of going back to this place. And so we're in this uncertain place. But you can get certain when you start understanding you can save for a specific thing, but you can save for saving's sake. it don't have to be anything. Like you can save for saving's sake. And sometimes I don't think we talk enough about that. Just saving because nothing is happening. Because here, what really happens? Something always happens.
Yes, unforeseen uncertainties. Okay. And they say that most Americans can't afford a $400 emergency.
I
That
heard, yes,
is scary.
scary, very, very scary, right? I told two people last year, they had paid off their cars and they said, like, oh my God, yes, no more payment. And I said to them, I hope you're going to take that money now and save it. And they look at me like, don't talk to me. They weren't happy with my suggestion at all. I said, I'm happy for you, but
Mhm.
save it.
You know, something also, Coach, is that I have a used car.
Mhm.
And people complain about it because it doesn't have all the amenities. I mean, it still has a cassette player in it. Okay, that's how old it is. Okay, but they're always trying to come and get me to give my car away. But I'm with you. That car represents the money that I take and invest. So now, if I have a car payment, that money's going out, and I'll never see it again. But if I'm putting it in investments, I know where it is and I know it's growing. So what you're saying to me is, give me your car and go get another, go give away some money.
No, like put that money somewhere. And I want you to save it for the people. The reason I don't go straight to investment is because if you don't know about investment, you don't know how to invest. And this is
Mhm.
after if for us RSPs taken care of, TSFA, you guys are, the Roth IRA, and you guys have your other stuff that you do. Once you're there, now I want you to pay if you're not there, then put some more money in that. But don't go investing if you don't know how. I'd rather you save in a high yield saving account because that
Okay.
way you are putting it, you're really forming a habit. That's really what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
Once you're comfortable and certain in the monies that can sustain you for 3 months, a year, and a lot of different emergency, now you can go ahead and play with some money. I call it your play money. That means you're learning to invest. You're learning to lose. You need to learn to lose. Let me just say this. Nobody wants to hear this, but you need to learn to lose some money. Because when you understand the feeling and that failure part that must happen, come on,
Mhm.
guys, you are able to get into certainty land. Like, okay, so I'm going to do this, this, and that, and I'm going to fail. All right, but what is my backup? Like, what do I do once I fail? Like, how do I feel? Do I need to dance, sing, go to the movies, watch a movie at home, go for a walk, dance in the rain? Like, have a bunch of things that you can do when you fail. So
Mm.
failure doesn't feel like death and doesn't feel like the world is ending. It's this thing that happened, and if you like me, it's on a spreadsheet for your failure. So you could write a little note about it. But I also dance about it. I put on music about it. And I have my time with it so that I can move on from it.
Mm.
And if it's an area where I need to plan out some more things, then I get down there and I plan. Oh, so I didn't really account for X, Y, and Z for the next 6 months. Let me get to do that. Now, it's not the easiest thing to do, but it's a must do. So maybe I could do it quickly, but if it's really hard, I need 3 to 6 steps to get it done. But I still want to do it because it's a must do.
Mhm.
Guys, have your must do's and get them done. So we're feel uncertain about monies because we're not addressing all these things. And the first address is if you have no money, I want you to sit yourself down and you say, I have no money.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
am
acknowledge
broke.
it.
I don't have any money. Now, what am I going to do about it? I want you to ask
Mhm.
that question right there and then. And then I want you to answer what you're going to do about it. Whatever come to mind, just write it down. And then eventually we're going to work into more things to do about it. And you're going to do it because once you're moving, you're going to do something. You're going to start feeling different. And when you start feeling different, you can do more things. The
Mm.
uncertainty is coming from you feeling stuck. You're not moving. You're worried. You're living in this place that is so dark financial wise that you can't breathe and see the light, because maybe if you get up and look around you'll realize that you really is not as broke as you think you are. This is the other thing. You might not as been as broke as you think you are.
Mhm.
I had a coaching session with somebody about 3 6 months ago, and we were talking about her money, and she lost some clients, and she's like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to go get a job. So I made her list all the positive about the job, all the negative that she's going to get, and the clients she have right now, what's she going to do about the money? And we looked at her budget. And now, let me tell you, we were talking about it last week, and we recognized, no, I lied, Monday we talked about it. If she had went to that job, to that other job that she was thinking about that she had applied for, she would have lost time in some things that she wants to learn, and she would have missed two opportunities. The clients that she do have, she end up getting more time with them, which means more money coming in. And everybody that she was doing stuff with, she's got the monies to do what she needs, let's just say, and then some. Because all of a sudden, instead of the work that she does, she was doing 3-4 days a week. She's now doing, yes, same 3-4, but with more time and body to it, which means more money coming in. If she went out and do that, she would have distracted herself with what it is she truly wanted to do. Once we sat down and realized, here's the credit cards you have, here is what you need to pay. Don't be bombarded. If the minimum is $200, I'm just giving a number here. I want you to just cater for 200, not 225. And then I want you in the other column, I want we talk about the bonus. So that way you're not stressed. You know your budget will accommodate 200 in credit card debts. And then if you know, once we did the budget, we see that she can add another $50, $75, then we add that in. But why we're doing it as a bonus is because I don't want her to feel pressure for 275 when 275 might not always be there according to her budget. And so that's what we looked at. Once I could see the uncertainty start peeling away, and she was kind of, oh, so I can do this. Yes. Now let's look at the timeline it's going to take for the credit card to be paid off without more purchases on it. Okay, we can do that. Oh, this is not as bad as I thought it was. All right, good. We can do that. All right. And I can commit to a bonus of 50, but anytime I got 25 more, I'll put on it. We agreed to that. The credit card has been like being paid on time, before time. She's not late anymore. She's not fighting to find the monies because we've got it there. Again, guys, see, talk about the planning. We sat down, we had that money talk. It was hard. She felt ashamed. She felt worried, but we needed it. We needed to get to all the nitty gritty. And it didn't really matter, as I explained to her, that you help somebody and they're the cause of this credit card debt, one of the cards. It didn't matter. And here's why it didn't matter, because it's still her name on the card. It's still her responsibility. And I wanted her to clear this up so she's not constantly in her head, I got this to pay. If only they would give me the money. No, we're clearing it up. When they pay you, you got money. If they never pay you, that was a learning experience. You're not going to let anybody else use your credit card. Only you. So those are the things that happens, and that's what have us on this. And money can really have you in so many other areas feeling uncertain too, and feeling like you're not worth it, and feeling on all these other feelings because you didn't want to take the time. Guys, you got the time. Just let me tell you. If you say I don't have the time, I'm telling you, you got the time to sit down with your finances. Very important. All right. And so number 2, we talk about, is it a lack of knowledge that causes the feeling? In a lot of cases, it is. It is. It is. You got to go out and find out. And I know there's a lot of noise. So sometimes you feel like you're hearing things from all over the place. So you're not sure what to follow. But I promise you, if you sit down quietly, Terry liked to say, go sit down and think about it. Go sit down and figure it out. She's not lying. If you go sit down and figure it out, what is the problem? Now you know where to go seek the knowledge. And the BizChicks has a lot of that here. So you guys know I come in and talk. The BizChicks talk about a lot of these things too, okay? You go get the knowledge you need. You need to learn to save. Go and find out how to do so. Go learn to save. Go learn to save before you say, I want to invest money, because you don't understand money yet. You don't understand your feelings with money. You don't understand what caused you to be the way you are. You need to know so you can fix it, so you don't make the same mistake over and over. You need to know when you're comfortable, when you can do what you say you want to do. You can't buy a car for $75,000 when you know the payment and the maintenance will kill you. It just don't make no sense. You got to go buy the car that makes sense. You got to buy the car that's going to make sense for you. I used to have a client. She was a hair client, and she turned into a coaching client. And she said to me, she says, Caren, I want to do this, this, and that. I said, the job you have is not allowing you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
She says,
Okay.
Yes, but I like the job. And so I said, the next time you come back, bring all the stuff and we'll talk about it. I tell you, even I was surprised. She quit that job so fast. It was a good position job. Let me tell you first things first. But the reason she left it is because it wasn't giving her all the things she wanted to give her. So she took a lower paying job at one place, because this is what it stopped her from driving all the driving she was doing, which took up a lot of time in the two jobs. The one job, she's going there. She wanted to do a little more work in her church. It gave her that time to do it. She was a single girl. And she started getting to examine her life better. So she get to see where the money goes. And she says, Caren, she called me, she said, I can't wait to come see you. So I'm just going to tell you right now, there's more money in my account that I haven't seen in so long. And I feel like I'm working less. How is this possible?
There you go. It's paying attention, isn't it?
That's what it is. And we talk about it. She knows she had an old car and it was going to go. So I said, are you saving for the new car? She says, yes. I didn't forget what you told me. So when the car went, she says, I decided, I didn't even have to call you, coach. I knew right away I needed to buy a car rather than fix it. So I sat with myself. I got all the details, how much it's going to cost to fix the car. And I started looking for a car. And I said, Caren would just tell me buy the car and send the car to the dump. I said, you got that. So she bought a car. And so the first car was $2,000. The second car was about $3,000, over time. And this last car was the most expensive car. But she grew into this. So every car that she bought was cash, no car payment.
I like it.
Insurance paid for a year. That administration fee that we usually pay, she's able to pay for the year and discount the administration fee. So she didn't have to pay that. And I'm like, so what are you doing with that? She goes, I went and invest that little thing. And that is my investment towards when I need another. By the time I need another car, Caren, I'm going to have the money as well.
I love it. Planning. This is all about planning, and it's all about looking at things from a different perspective, isn't it?
And following through on it, and don't worry with who's beside you and what they're doing. This is your journey. Everything we do, I was telling my daughter on the other, I said, everything we do, we hear about compound interest for money, but our lives are compound interest. And so everything you do, no matter how tiny it is, it builds upon and it builds upon. And next thing you know, you're in this hole and you don't know how to get out because you've been building upon it. You got to watch compounding things. So if you're negative, you compound negativity to the tilt. If you're positive, you do the same thing. If you're planning, you're constantly planning for the next thing. And nothing's wrong with it. Some things are not going to go in a straight line. They never rarely ever do. But within the planning, you should have flexibility. You should have the thing I just talked about, the failures, I don't know what's going to happen. And if this happened, what fix then? Like those things you see people create, those infomercially, not in info, I can't remember the name right now, but I'll get back to it. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. You put it up. If I have so much money, this will happen, and that money. And you draw a line, and then you got yes, no, and then you go from there. You're answering yourself those questions. I truly just need $2,500 a month to run my home. If that is true, that is true. But I want a 500 flexibility. There we go. But I make 5,000 net. What am I doing with the other $2,000? Like, what's the plan for it? Where does it go? Some for vacation, some for investment, some for because, whatever. No. Don't touch them. I often tell people from little tiny bits. When I started my alteration business, if I made $10, I'm not a client of mine. If I made $10, I said to them, I take out for the material, I take out for my tithing, and I take out for 10% for saving. And it sounds so silly when I explain them $10, $1 for tread, $1 for tithing, and $1 for saving. It left me with $7. Out of the $7, I do a 35% markup, And that goes into the business money, meaning any advertisement I want to do, and the rest is mine. Now it's so tiny and little bit. So when I'm talking about, I probably have with like $4, $4.70, whatever that number came to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about the 470 because that's mine. That's directly mine. Brought it down so small because I wanted her to see what happens when you understand where to allocate your money. You can't spend more than 470 if all you made from one thing you did was 470. And in a specific client case, she was doing prep food and something else. And once we went through the whole thing, I said to her, listen, you're not charging enough. That's why you're burnt out and feeling overwhelmed, and you say the business is not working. You're just not charging enough.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing that. Last year, she said to me, Caren, I think she made $13,000 in December because she started listening and applying what we talk about. Mm-hmm. So I know you want X amount of customers, but if you're certain about the 12, the 25 people that buy from you consistently, here's the goal. You serve them really well and you ask them to recommend one person. That's it. Ask each of those individuals to recommend one person. Don't wait till December, because from this month to December is her big selling month. I said, you start in June, July, you're talking to them, you're enticing them, you're letting them know. And by September, you're sending them information so they can pass it on. And you're asking consistently, so what's going on, girl? What's happening? Did you tell anybody? Did you tell Sharon? How is Joseph going? Oh, I forgot. Let me send it right away. Because you got to remind people. I'm sorry. People are busy. You got to remind people. You got to remind people. And next thing you know, in December, you got 30 people. Only 5 more came on board. But that's 5 more. And what is one customer worth? One customer had worth $300 at the time. 5 pieces, $1,500. I mean, she started getting so excited because it feels like nothing. But and the 300 I'm talking about, and it was a little bit more, but let's say about 300. That was the net by the time we take out materials, labor, and everything. So she was able to hire somebody to help her. So everything came out.
We all would like that.
With the 3-something, right? So
yes,
1,500. You just add 1,500 to your monies. So this is what you got to think about, guys. I always talk about little dribbles. It's no matter how small it is, $10, $20, $100. When you understand how to spread your money, how to make it do what it is you want it to do, you stop being so uncertain. You now in control of how things work. You're not fighting. You're constantly knowing. So when I started my cleaning business, I realized I need to distribute 100 flyers to get one client. And at first I felt daunted with it. But then I realized, hey, if I did 1,000 flyers, I'm going to be able to get 10 people. What is the cost of 10 people? 10 people, if they stayed for a full year, is $3,600 at the time. That's what I'll make from the 10 people. So rather than fight about it, one of the girls that cleaned for me, I said, do you want to make some money when we don't have houses for you? She said, yeah. I said, you want to drop off fly? She said, certainly. I'd rather do that any day anyway. I like cleaning, but I'd rather do that. So guess what? I paid her exactly what she gets for cleaning. I didn't take anything less off of it. I said, okay. I want to keep your money straight. I want to make sure that you don't feel you're getting less an hour. She goes, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to keep churning those things out. I had to get it printed out, so that she can keep going. And once we had the rhythm, now we know, and we can get 10 people in the door. We know we got to talk to a lot of them to get to the 10, but it's good because we know we can get 30 clients, 60 clients, like we can build up. And so that's what you got to think about, guys. So if you get the knowledge, you start understanding how you can make money, how you can keep money, how you can distribute your money. You start feeling good. And what happens when you feel good? You want more of it.
Yes. Yes, we do. Wow. I just really, I don't think we ever really talk about why people feel uncertain about their money.
Yeah. A lot of time, because and then sometimes things has happened to them and they haven't been able to catch themselves back. And it's hard. It is so hard. My mom was talking the other day to you about something with money, and I was telling her, she was telling me a story. And I say to her, when you're in business, if you're only selling because your friend like it or they said they'll buy it out, that's no way to start a business. Stay in business. You couldn't stay in business. You could start that way, but you can't stay in business because you can't just have one client. You need a
Mhm.
lot of people to buy, and they need to spread the word. That's important, right? So, and so number three, I was asking, is it the feeling of an impossible immediate state that shows up? Because I call it the front view. This has been my thing. I think I coined that phrase about 5 years ago. The front view. Everything that is showing up right now in your face, it's called, Coach Caren says, the front view. There's a whole bunch of things happening in the background. So the front view comes to distract you and make you feel like you can't do anything. You're choking. Like bit my tongue the other day, and it's so painful. And I was in pain for nearly 2 weeks with it. But I absolutely refuse to worry about it. I go about my business, I eat, I do what I got to do. It's paining me, but I'm doing what I got to do. My grandmother was a queen for this. Remember, we had a cold, and I love eating ice. And she says, Caren, don't stop doing the things that you love doing because something intervened, and that was a cold. And so my throat would be scratchy. You know how you get that scratchy throat and you're feeling really terrible? We still eat ice, we'll still do the cold thing, we'll still do the things we're doing. And what we notice over time is that the cold will last less time because we weren't succumbing to the feeling of just sitting with the cold. We would be in movement gear, we do the things we gotta do. Yes, we drink a lot of soup and we had a lot of natural medication we take home. And so, of course, that helped too. But one of the things I do when I got a cold, I'm going to rest. Don't get me wrong. But I still keep my exercise routine. Even if I got to go back down and lie down. Yep. I get up, I do my workout, I have a shower, and then I go back and lie down because the feeling is to stay in bed. I
Yes,
know
it
I need
is.
a lot of liquid, so I get those liquid ready, ginger ale, soup, a lot of water, and fruit juices or whatever it is I got set up. The other thing I'm big about in this time of the year where I know that is prevalent, I make several pots of soup and I put them in containers and I label them. And so anybody's sick, there's a bowl of soup waiting. So I don't have to succumb to a pack of soup to open. I make and have my soup. I get all my vegetables together and I make pots and pots of soup. And so they're there. Somebody come, they get a soup. Somebody's sick, you get a soup.
I love it.
Soup season.
Yes,
This house is soup season from
we're
October to
prepared,
January.
prepared to fight that
Right?
inflammation. Hmm.
Yeah. So when I talk about planning, and that was we did the first half of the series, I wanted to
Yes.
bring in money this time because I wanted to showcase to you that in that planning, I did say you should be talking about money. It should be there. If you know that next year, 2025, you want to make, I don't care what nobody tell you want to make 100,000, 25,000. I don't care what the number is. I want you to write that number down. And I want you to ask yourself, this is a coaching minute right here. What I need and how I'm going to do it. And then I want to write down everything to the last penny, how you're going to make it, the things you're going to do to get the clients in, the work you're willing to do. And don't look at anybody. I'm a coach, guys. Let me tell you, and there's no shame to my game here. And I'm a bookkeeper, which means I got bookkeeping clients. And I teach classes, and not everything is online. I had people come here in person take a sewing class one on one and they recommend. I said to her, you want to? She came and she did it for her 3 months, did her classes, so proud of herself. I got a really nice testimonial from her. And I still got me a little side alteration business because the old clients will not leave me alone. Like clockwork, they come, right? I don't make a lot of money in it. Some months I make like 325, I just say honestly. And some months I make like five something. It's not a lot of money, but it's not a lot of work either. It's
Mm-hmm.
a Friday afternoon work. A couple hours when I done on a Friday afternoon, you bring your stuff and you can pick it up Saturday morning. If you need a rush, it can cost you more. And my old clients is just really good. They kind of, can I bring something on Monday? If I have a hurry up, I know what's going to cost me. Just tell me. Okay. Those
Mm-hmm.
people are going nowhere. Okay. So that's fine. That's fine. And I apply the same rule if I'm making $1 or I'm making $10,000. The same rule applies. Keep your books, watch your money, where it goes.
Wow. Well, Coach, what can what can I say? I would say it's so true, and we get in our feelings. Things happen, but what I want to say is that you always touch on the heart. You always get to the heart of the matter. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
And
you.
I don't think we pay enough attention to our money and
Mm-hmm.
how we feel about it, where it is being placed,
Mm-hmm.
when it's not being spent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that these conversations are really important because a lot of us came up in households that only taught us how to make and spend money
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and not how to excuse me, set it aside so that we're ready for any eventual um, unforeseen circumstance.
Exactly.
So, with that, we want to remind everybody that it's okay to make money in your business.
Business. Listen to the lady.
So, we want to encourage you that if you have not already connected with Coach Caren, you can find her at Profits in Daily. She is there waiting for you, and you can even make an appointment with her to come on in and get a private consultation with Coach Caren.
Yep.
And so we want to encourage you to do that. You can direct message her on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
or, and I believe that this is, I'm looking for, I think this is the link so that you can make an appointment with Coach Caren. We'll put it in the chat also because you know what? We all need a coach, a cheerleader, and a community. So,
Mm-hmm.
so if you need to figure out your money or you can't figure out why you're not making money in your business, you need to have a conversation with Coach Caren. So with that, we want to remind you that if you're looking to become a part of BizChicks, first of all, let me put this in the chat before I move on
Mm.
because I don't want to overlook that opportunity, guys, for you to connect with Coach Caren. Okay, here we go. And now, let me get back to the business of if you're looking to be a part of the BizChicks community, you can simply text Biz to 33777,
Yeah.
or you can find us over at bizchicks.net.
.net.
We'd love to share with our community what it is you do and how you serve. So, with that, we'll see you tomorrow. We're looking forward to talking to you about Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shamizu and friends. And on Friday, you know, we talk tech. So have a great day, and we will see you soon. Thank you so much for all you do, Coach. We
You're
appreciate you. Bye bye, everyone.